Google Classroom so that people can check this whenever they need to. Think we started? Here we go. We're started. Okay, so we're in Photopea, which is a Photoshop clone. You're going to go to open from your computer, and whether you're using your phone or whether you're using your Chromebook, and if you're using your Chromebook, it's probably going to be in your best interest to upload it to Google Drive so you can use that or get it onto your Chromebook. I'm going to start with a picture. Here's something that would be helpful for all of you. I have showed you this before, that you want to make sure that you have that transformer clone controls clicked. If you go to Windows, there's a really handy tool called Navigator. Okay? And when you click on Navigator, what's great is you can zoom in or you can zoom way out. And it's handy for us when we're changing our canvas size to be able to zoom way out. So I zoomed out, so I want this picture to be way over on the left. So again, like we did before, when we're making one picture or one portrait out of 3 pictures of one person, but this is a mini essay, a little mini photo essay. This time we're going to go horizontal, but we're going to go to image, and we want to not go to image size, but to canvas size. Question for Calvin.
When you zoom in, does it do that thing where it turns like into really big pixels and it's like pixelated?
So notice I'm at 2,000%, and you can see the individual squares. If you have the patience, there is such amazing digital stuff that you can do. And I'm a little nervous about it because of how glitchy your Chromebooks can be, but I would like to try and get us into editing and processing, but also manipulating and doing some weird surreal stuff if you want, some artsy stuff and not just photography stuff beginning next week. But at any rate, yeah, so whoops, now I'm too small. I don't want 2%. Okay, so I'm going to image and I'm going to canvas size, not image size. Remember, I have this anchor here, and I want this picture because the body of the old tractor and the steering wheel is kind of pointing toward the right, and there's some empty space on the left. I want this to be my furthest left of my 3 pictures in this essay, so I'm going to click it on the left side, which means that the empty space is going to be moving to the right. This time, instead of changing the height, we're going to change the width. But again, as I've reminded you, or I told you, it might be easier for you to read this in inches. So 21 inches, that's pretty big, isn't it? Because 36 inches is a yard. Now I can shrink that. I can make it smaller, but I want to wait until I have all 3 pictures. Okay. If I had a high resolution, this is probably at 72 dots per inch. This is kind of low. This is what's good for social media and the internet and emailing, not necessarily good for printing and publishing. Okay. So the default here, so it's 21 inches wide and 72 point DPI. If this was 150 or 300 DPI, your computer would really slow down because that would take a lot of memory. So if and when you decide that you want to have a larger DPI because you want to print it, so probably 150, you can send it to Walmart or to Hometown Variety or whoever has a kiosk that'll publish pictures. They print the pictures. You want to increase your DPI, your resolution, but you should probably lower the size, right? Because you pick up a snapshot that if you have them printed, right, they're usually 4x6. So that 4 inches is a lot smaller than 21 inches. So we're not going to worry about doing that just now. What we are going to worry about now is, all right, I have 2 more pictures that I want to fit in here. So I'm going to change my width. Now, what we did last time is all 3 pictures were approximately the same size, right? But this time, this picture is vertical and my other 2 are horizontal. So I can't do something as simple as get the calculator on my phone or do a little bit of math on some scrap paper real quick and say 3 times 21 must be 64 or 63, right? So I'm going to have to kind of estimate. I'm going to say maybe I should go with 90. Just because I know 90 inches. What the Sam heck? That's like 2-3 yards. If you printed that out, that'd be 2-3 yards. Well, don't worry because it's only like 72 dots per inch, so it's not as huge computer memory wise as it sounds. So, but I'm going to make that about 90 for now and watch what'll happen. I hit OK. Boom. Now, frankly, that might be a little bit tight. I might have underestimated. I could use a little bit more space. If you're using a phone, I think that this next step is something I'm changing in my directions. I think that this will make it easier for you because when I tried doing this on a phone, it kind of crashed. It can't handle having more than one picture open at a time. Maybe that would be different if you're on a tablet like a Amazon Fire or a Apple iPad. But what we're gonna do, okay, if you're listening, like I said, this is fairly easy, but it's also easy to get lost. So I get that you want to upload your pictures, or maybe you're working on your phone, or you're talking to each other. But listen, I'll try not to take the whole class for it. Okay, I'm gonna go to File, right? And I'm not gonna open another picture and then copy that and paste it in this picture. What I'm gonna do, it's a special little thing. I have Open in Place. So when I open it, it'll place it in this document instead of opening another tab. Okay, so it's less likely to crash. And I think what I'd like to do is I want this picture, because this picture has a person in it. Here's Farmer Nolan. It's actually my nephew. And we're going to have to make it a little bit bigger. Now, one of the cool things that I could do is I like how that barn frames him. But if I go over here to the layers, I could put him behind the background. And now I could see how that overlaps. I can have less of that. I could even get rid of it altogether. Okay, so this way maybe I can fit my last picture in here. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so one last picture to go. Again, I'm going to go to Open in Place, and I'm going to get the other detail. So again, an essay could be steps in a process. It could be different vantage points or angles, kind of like we had just done a little bit ago with our three-tiered triptych portrait of a person. But, see how much. Do I want some of that flywheel? Yeah, maybe I do. So, in fact, maybe what I might want to do is, if I want to have more of that wheel, it might be that what I'm going to need to do now is go this other way with my canvas size, move my anchor to the right, and let's say I make it to 100. I don't think I need a whole another inch, but maybe I will. We'll see. Pop. So now I can fit all three. Not too shabby. I think I'm kind of liking that. Okay. Now though, I don't want that strip of empty, right? What I'd really like to do, I think, is give it a border, give it a margin, right? Or we have like a little white. And come to think of it, it might be nice to have a little strip of white between the pictures. So if I move, now I'll have a little bit of space in between each of these pictures. But I'm going to show you another neat trick. And I don't remember if I did this on Monday with our vertical portraits or not, but we'll do it. We're going to go down to this cropping tool. Okay. And I'm going to say that what I want to do is I want just a little bit more, a quarter inch or half inch around the whole thing. And I click, but now I have all this extra empty space. I don't want empty space. So I make sure that down here, the color that I've chosen for my foreground is white. And I think I might have messed this one up the last demonstration, but I want to make sure I go here, and I'm not choosing gradient, but I want to choose paint bucket and choose the furthest back, whichever one is now my background, and just drop my paint bucket over that. I don't want to rasterize anything. I want it in the background. See if I can not touch an object. Well, all right. I'll tell it to rasterize it. Hopefully you won't run into this, but this is how you would rasterize: is you just go over to layer and rasterize. But in theory now, because it's the background that I want to hit. There we go. So now we have this white all the way around all three pictures. Now, this next two things are important. So if I lost you, if you're bored to death, if you're doing other homework, if you're reading, I love that you're not, if you are talking to each other, you're keeping it low. But these next two things are pretty important. So please watch. One, we had said that this is too big. So let's go to image size. Okay, I'm going to image and image size. It's back to pixels again. Let's tell inches. 103 inches. Again, that's like 3 yards. 72. Well, we don't need that. What would be good? Well, if these pictures usually are like 4 by 6, so I've got two of them that are 6, so that's 12, and one that's 4, right? 12 plus 4 is 18. So we could say 18. We could even say 20. Okay, that might even be big, but 20 inches is back about where we started. Okay, so 20 inches. Don't change the DPI. Okay, I mean, you could make it bigger if you are really excited about this and you're really proud and you want to print it and submit it for 4-H for county fair or state fair or conference art show. But all we need for turning it in, for uploading it to Artsonia, probably was leave it at 72. Okay, 20 inches is still fairly big. And we hit OK. Okay, now you're scared to death that, oh, it made it so small. But no, when you look at Navigator, that's at 9%. Okay, if I took it up to, see, 100%, it's still, bigger than is fitting on my screen. So not too bad. Now, you may want to be a little more careful than I was, because here's something maybe you're noticing. I ended up having one picture a little bit too big. It's a little lower than that. But now, if I want to get real persnickety, I guess I could say Control Z or Control D to deselect that. Now, I could mess with this a little bit, but you know what? Going through just as a demo, so we're good. All right, now you could, as I did before, go ahead and flatten image, but all you have to do is this. And again, I said there's two things that were real important, so this is the last thing that's real important, but it's really, really important. So patience, for example, you had gotten yesterday's done, and you said that Artsonia wouldn't accept it. Okay, so I want to make sure that you get this, folks. Okay, if you save it, it's going to save it as a PSD, a Photoshop document. Artsonia doesn't read that. For that matter, most people's computers aren't going to be able to read it in the preview, and I don't know that Google, Google Drive doesn't necessarily care, but I'm not sure Google Classroom how that'll do. So what you want to do is don't go to save or save as, but go to export. All right. Now, we can go over what all of these mean some other time. I'll do fast. An MP4 is an audio file. You don't want that. A GIF is a graphic image file. And really, actually, you don't want that because that is going to change your colors. It's going to have far fewer colors. Okay. A vector graphic is like high end, and that's more like illustration than photography. You don't necessarily need that. Portable document file, that's for worksheets, stuff that you want to actually read. Obviously, we don't want to make this a web page. Okay. Joint photographers group or joint professional photographers group, JPEG, right? Or expert. There you go. Photography expert group. JPEG is okay, but I guess I would prefer you do ping, portable network graphic. You export it as a ping. It's going to have, it keeps the resolution high, and it has good color, good crisp, good quality as a file, without taking up too much room. Now, what you also probably want to do is this. Again, put your name. Hey, it doesn't have to be all caps. I'm showing that I'm like in my 50s, huh? I didn't mean to yell at you. Your name, and then let's call it essay. Okay, because that's the assignment. A triptych or 3-photo essay. You hit save. It should be in there. So again, now for you, you go in here. It's different for you. I'm just doing this the fast way for me, but I come in to Artsonia and I gotta maybe go to recents, and naturally I have to look around and figure out where the heck did it save it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was here. I named it Mallory Essay. Okay. Now, this time around, I would love it if you'd give it a title, but you don't have to write an artist statement at this time. We'll deal with that. Monday, Tuesday. We'll deal with that next week. Okay. Oh, I have to enter the artist, so that would be me, not Jeez. Here I am. Okay. Any questions?
You're gonna have to help me because that all does.
What that went over your head? Hey, there's cute. Nice, Thomas. All right. So now I can show you the gallery in Artsonia to show you what these are going to look like once they're up. Right. So here's the photo essay of Grandma cutting corn. And here's the essay.
Is that the girl that Grandma? Go back.
This is Mrs. Mallory's. This is when she was only in her 90s. She passed away when she was 103 last month. Yeah, so that's Mrs. Mallory's grandma. This is Ellen's crowning at Coda Days up at homecoming and this is our nephew on his old, I don't know, it's not a 40-20, 4-6, I don't know, it's really old. Maybe it's an A, maybe it's a B, maybe one of you is an actual expert here. This is going to bother me like no other that I have that kind of messed up. But all right, I'm going to end my